Computer. Okay, so you wanted to ask about the competency exam. That's the major field test, the MFT.
Yeah, I was just trying to understand what areas it's supposed to cover. Is it the entire course?
It's sort of it takes a look at different parts of the business curriculum. So there's a part in there on finance and accounting. There's a part on marketing, I believe. There's a section on management and different management philosophies. And there's a section on strategy, right? I think is the way it's broken down.
Okay.
So we use that sort of judge how we're doing, and the people who are most interested in how we're doing in that is not only us and our objectives, but our accreditation bodies. They want to see how our students are doing because it's a very good objective test to how we're doing compared to other universities.
All right. Okay.
And it's a 3-hour test, and it's going to be online, and we're probably going to have 2 test dates. Professor Whitehouse and I haven't had a chance to meet and talk about it. So we're actually meeting tomorrow. Hopefully we can get to this. And so we'll get some more details set it in on test dates. I know you guys are interested in knowing what kind of test dates there are so you can get it on your schedule. So we're going to try to get that finished as soon as we can.
Yeah, and when is it likely to be?
Not till towards the end of the class, so in August.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm running kind of a very tight schedule, so I just try to find out how I can schedule my time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good enough. So any other questions about? That's all I know about the test. So we'll get to more of that later, I guess, when we find out some details. But hopefully we'll get that nailed down pretty soon here.
So on the issue of the presentation, though,
yes.
I noticed you indicated that with the presentation, we should be able to, you expect us to divide the time between the 3 presenters to?
Yes.
Okay.
Great. And you could each take a certain amount of time. You could pass it back and forth, each speak for, 3 to 5 minutes and then pass it back and forth. It really doesn't matter to us how you decide to do it. Just be sure you have a handoff, right? And now I'm going to introduce so-and-so who's going to speak about such and such, right?
Okay. Now, I did raise an issue because the Saturday is a problem for me.
Right. I moved your team back to Wednesday night.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's an email went out today that says that, right?
Okay. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. So one advice I have for the presentations, a lot of teams have a lot of slides, right? More information than you can get through in 40 minutes. So we've had you do a lot of research along the way to see what was going on with Tesla. So now what you need to do is filter that research. You need to edit it down to the story you want to tell, right? So what is it you think is going on? What do you think you should do? Then build your case to support that. But if you've looked at things that don't really involved in that story, then don't waste your time talking about it, right? So don't just think you got to go really fast because you have lots and lots of slides, right? My strong suggestion is you edit that down so you can spend time on what you need to spend time on and build your case to support your strategic thinking about the organization. Right? Because I've seen this every time people present, right? Somebody thinks they have to say everything about everything, and they water down their presentation with too much stuff, and they really don't get to the important stuff. So they try to shotgun it and cover everything as opposed to dig into the vital points, right, that they need to make. It's okay to mention you've looked at this, but then just go on quickly to the next thing. Yeah, it's probably the biggest advice I have for people is make sure you feel free to edit down what you've had before. Some people have asked, can I change slides I've already submitted? We said, yes, we've used the word draft any number of times. Those are drafts you've turned in. You certainly can edit your slides. You can combine them. You can break them down. If you feel like you've changed your mind on something, that's perfectly okay, right? So those were drafts you've turned in. It's okay to modify them in any way your team sees fit. Okay. Any other questions, comments, anything I might address?
What are you looking for? Some specific change from the base case to the improved case? case? I mean, do we want to show with their strategy? It's sort of, my understanding is we have got our strategy recommendations, and then we'll sort of show them our gross profit is increasing or net income after taxes is increasing, or is there any one thing you're looking for, or just that it all follows?
It sort of all follows what you think they should do, right? The vital few things you think they should focus on, and then support that, and why you think that's important, and what effects you think that's going to have in the organization. Does that kind of answer your question?
Okay.
Okay. You were just breaking up just a little. I couldn't quite understand your question. Okay, and then for the mechanics of it, right, we have this share screen button on the display here that if you, so Dr. Whitehouse sent out a thing about emailing in your PowerPoints by 3 o'clock on the day you're going to present, and then we'll have them, and then we can bring those PowerPoints up, or I'm trying to think, can you share your screen with me? Can anybody try that? See if you can, if you move your cursor down to the bottom of your screen, can you see? Does your view shift to your PowerPoints?
I have a share option. I'll try it if you want me to.
Share screen? Yeah, try that.
Hold on a second.
Sure.
It gave me the option of what I wanted to pick,
Yeah,
like Google Drive and all that stuff, so I'm trying to find.
Just pick one, and I'll see if I can see it.
I have no idea what this is, but I'll pick something. Hey, can you see it?
I have, yes, Express Scripts.
Yeah, that was
Right.
something we did. I don't know when, but
Yeah. So that's how you can.
so I'm scrolling. The problem is with this though, is I can't see anyone. So for me to flip through like this, it's fine. But since I can't see anyone, it's hard for, like, I'm solely going off of what people are saying.
Okay.
So that's the hard part. So if me and my group were doing it, you'd have to give a little bit of leadway because we can't see people talking.
Gotcha. Right. There's no body language or anything. You almost have to say next, please, and go on. Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I can go through them like this pretty easily, but I just
Right.
can't see individuals.
Okay.
And then I can just say stop share, and it goes back to you.
Right. Okay. All right. That's probably how we're going to end up doing it. Right. Now, another way to do that is each person could have the PowerPoints for the part they're talking about, right? You could submit us the whole file, but then you guys break it apart, right? So your teammates could have, John could have the part he's presenting, and then when you say, now I'm going to switch over to John, John goes to share screen, brings up his PowerPoints, and then he flips through them, and then he tosses it over to, who was Amanda, I think, is on his team, right? Then he tosses it over to Amanda, and she shows hers. Right? Does that make sense? Right? So that's
tried. I think the fluidity of the presentation might get cropped a little bit. I don't know if we've tried that before.
Yeah. Either way, it's a little clunky, right? So, and I'll have to research this, see if there's a better way to do this for future teams. But certainly, we can. This is not the way you'd want to do it to a CEO, but yeah, we can tolerate that for this course. We're still learning how to do this online, and I think however you guys, if you want to break it up into presenters show their own screen, or you do it all, then everybody talks over, over your screen, that's fine too. So however your team decides to do it's fine. Okay, so I'll send out a little email, tell everybody, that they can do it either way, just so they can get a handle on it. Okay.
So my other question is, on these Zoom meetings, don't we have a time limit, or is that extended?
Okay,
I thought we used to have like a 30-minute time limit or something, and then the video would go away.
Excellent question. So because if you got, for your free accounts, you have a 45-minute time limit, right? I paid for the professional account, which is only $150 a year, so I don't have a time limit. So I'm going to send you a meeting link. I'm going to send each team their own meeting link, right? And then you're good for an hour easy. So we won't run out of time.
Okay, my other question is, since like since my team's going on Wednesday, we present. Do we have to watch the other presentations, or is it only presenting to you two? How is that
Yeah,
working?
we talked about it. You're just presenting to us too,
Okay.
right? It would feel like we're feeling like, well, but the later people would have an advantage watching the other people and any questions asked and all that. So we thought it's just easier. Everybody just does their own. And what we're going to do is post the winning, the highest graded presentation. So if you want, you could go back and take a look at that. So you do not have to blank out your whole night.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
There you go. Okay, any questions? Any other questions or comments? All right. And I think those were the questions I anticipated people were going to have. So I'll post this out to the Guy.
On the business game strategy, are the teams remaining the same going through the next round? Or?
Yes, same teams. Yes.
Okay, just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
So we know how to plan moving forward.
Yeah, and that's a little different in that your team, like how can I say this? So your team is really an industry. Every person is their own company, right? So the way Dr. Whitehouse has it set up is that, so for instance, you might be with a group of 3 people. No, I'm sorry, you're with a group of 3 people, but you're all in different industries, but you can all talk to each other. And then so one of you might be similar to like Ford, Toyota, and Honda. And so you would be in the same industry, but you would be on different teams. So people in the same industry will be on different teams. So your team might be somebody from Honda, somebody from General Mills cereal, and Boeing aircraft, right? So you'd be in different industries, but you'd be on the same team. So you can talk about things and work things out, right? So the people you're going to compete against aren't on your team, and the people on your team are in different industries. So what I'm saying is it's not really a team effort. You're going to make your own decisions for your own industry, but you'll be seated with a team just so you have people to talk things through with. How does this work? What are the mechanics of the game and that type of thing, right? So it's much less of a team effort than this is. So from that standpoint, it's quite a bit less of a team effort. But you do have people on your team that you can talk things over with and share how it works. Okay? So we'll explain more to that probably next week here when we get going on this.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sure. Okay. Any other questions?
Do you have an idea of when we're meeting next week?
I'd have to check the schedule. No, I'll send something out sooner though. I'll get something on the calendar.
Okay. Thank you.
When I talk to Dr. Whitehouse tomorrow, we'll set something up.
Okay, because some of us are off next week because for shutdown. So
Okay.
Who knows where we'll be? So having that in advance would be appreciative.
Okay. And I would remind you can do this on your phone, right? So if you're just if you're lucky enough to be on a cottage on a beach somewhere, right, you can just get on your phone and do this, even if it's audio only. Or we'll always post the recordings too.
Next week, just the trial decisions, are those mandatory? Do we have to have those done, or?
I haven't looked at that schedule in a long time. Those are your practice rounds, right? So you get to make a decision and then have the game advance, and then you get to see what happens. So it's like a mulligan in golf, right? You get a do-over, right? So those are your practice rounds. So those are really helpful when it comes time to start the game, so you get a feel for what's going on. You'll do a lot better in the game if you use those to your full advantage. Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. Sounds good. Well, today's the day. If you look in the morning's email, that's got the final schedule for the presentation. So make sure you check those, and I guess we'll start those on Wednesday night. All right. So I'll be checking email tomorrow if anybody has any last-minute questions about the presentations.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.